Hey guys, this is NYC Geek
Society.
This is Jon and Axel here. So we're covering E3 throughout the week. We just watched the Microsoft conference. God, that was a lot.
So many games.
Oh my God.
Like after every game, it's just like exclusive, world premiere, world premiere, world premiere. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even
Can't type that fast with our thumbs.
We were like typing on the phone, and it kept auto-correcting. Like, that's not what I meant. But I think we captured most of it down. So
yeah, so this is incredible. They have 18 exclusive games. 50 games total that were supposedly shown.
Yep.
And 15 world premieres. So that is exactly what Microsoft freaking needed. I think they kind of killed this right now. I don't know. We could go down the list, but I think like the first thing I want to talk about is Ninja Theory being bought by Microsoft. Because I'm a huge Ninja Theory fan ever since Heavenly Sword. I loved Enslaved, or I liked it. I liked Heavenly Sword better. And then they did DMC Devil May Cry, which I never beat, but I played the beginning of because I just suck at those kinds of games. But I love
you flipped
completely.
The fuck out.
I love Hellblade. I love Hellblade, and I loved.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of confused how I feel about this, because I really liked that was an independent game and that they owned it. And so does this mean now that every game that they make here on out is going to be owned by Microsoft?
I mean, that's likely going to be the case. I mean, that's the reason they had them presented during this conference. And as much as I like to see them being like the little engine that could, and the small indie game developer that's pushing out these AAA games, I feel like this would relieve some pressure for them. I mean, they pride themselves on being like a small studio that could produce these big games, but at the same time, there's probably like crazy amounts of pressure to be able to deliver the games that they do. Like Hellblade just looks incredible, but I mean, they just had to like find so many loopholes to be able to do the things that they did.
Yeah, but they did it.
They did it, and hats off to them for being able to complete a game like that. But at the same time, I mean, we don't know about their own I don't know, struggles, like emotional struggles creating a game like that. Like, as developers ourselves, me being in mobile and you being in web, we understand like how these crazy deadlines can affect you psychologically. So like just having some of that Microsoft money under your belt, I mean, it might help.
I think that it's fantastic for Microsoft for sure.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like Ninja Theory could become potentially their Naughty Dog,
Yeah.
Because they're just as good at interactive storytelling, and they're brilliant. Like, again, like that they were able to invent technology to make Hellblade on an indie game budget without using Kickstarter or any crowdfunding or anything. And, that is a huge deal. I think it's great for Microsoft. I just wonder in the long run how great it will be for Ninja Theory. But maybe they worked out a really good deal, hopefully.
I mean, I feel as long as Microsoft doesn't interfere too much in terms of like their creative process.
Right.
That's what I'm worried about. Like, how much are they going to butt in when it comes to the creative process? I feel like Sony doesn't do that too much. They're like the Rick Rubin of video game publishing.
But even with Sony, it's like, it's come out later that like that game company that made like Journey and Flow and Flower, they were kind of burned by Sony afterwards, because basically the way that deal worked was that they gave them complete creative freedom, but they took all the profits. So once that 3-game deal was gone, they were basically starting from scratch, which has been apparently pretty hard on them. So I wonder if it's similar with Microsoft that like, I mean, I guess it's different though. It's different in the sense that Sony didn't own that game company. It was still an independent studio. They just had like a 3-game contract. So maybe it's different, like the way that things work with like Naughty Dog and companies that they actually own.
Different for indie developers. Or, the big.
But you know, I guess it's just like the last couple of years I've been more kind of pushing for indie studios, especially after what happened with Kojima. You know, it's like you just never know. Like you could work on a series for 30 years and then it's not yours. You know, like that's rough.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that feels like.
I'm happy for Microsoft. I hope they worked out a good deal that maybe Ninja Theory still has some ownership over what they're going to make. But it's undeniable that that's a great thing for Microsoft because I think that could be a really great studio to have under their belt. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So let's not spend too much time on this. Let's go just down. They announced Halo Infinite.
That was their opener.
Right.
And personally, I'm not like the biggest Halo fan, but it looked exciting.
Yeah, we're more like PlayStation fanboys, so there's a little bit stuff we don't know as much about on Xbox.
We'll say that like straight off the cuff.
Yeah,
you know,
we're not gonna pretend that we know things that we don't know.
It's using like the Slip Space engine.
Yeah,
that's something they mentioned. I'm not sure if that's going to be something used.
Is that new? I don't know.
It seems new. I mean,
I've never heard of it.
It might be used in other games. Not sure. But Phil Spencer, he hosted the entire event. He's the head of Xbox.
I just wanted. Yeah, what were you gonna
say? Yeah. And he was saying like, you know, we know that gamers want like I don't know games that are like better for the Xbox One or just like the Xbox in general.
They were really driving home play it, you know, it's best played on Xbox. But basically I just want to say just over the last few years, you know, from what I remember, Phil Spencer took over. I think he used to work at EA. And then he took over after, like, the last guy was fired after the whole debacle of, like, the launch of the Xbox One where, you know, it was going to be just internet, online only, and, like, you know, all that stuff where you couldn't trade games and all those horrible things. That guy who was, you know, promoting all that got fired. And then Phil Spencer came on, and that's where, like, he's won back a lot of goodwill from gamers. Like, he is a gamer, you know? And I just have a lot of respect for him. I listened to a lot of interviews with him. And he has a real passion for the video game industry. And especially for storytelling in video games. And I'm just very impressed. Like, this was so well put together, this conference, you know? And I just have a lot of respect for the guy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they went over, like, the big titles and some cool indie titles.
They said that they, like, traveled the world looking for new, like, indie developers to, like, work with and to, I guess...
Yeah, and they bought out five new studios, including Ninja Theory.
It's like they did everything that we knew that they needed to do. He knew it. He knew that they needed to do it, too.
Yeah.
I'm just so impressed, you know?
I'm excited to see what happens next year, especially, like, what's Ninja Theory going to come out with, right?
Yeah.
I guess we could kind of like go down the list.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, it just keep in mind like these trailers were just like, you know, 30 seconds next game, 30 seconds next game. So they didn't really go into too much depth with a lot of these. First game I have written down is Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Like has like I don't know. It seems like one of those fantastic. I don't know, Disney magic kind of game.
So yeah, you've never played Ori and the Blind
No,
Forest?
I've never played it.
Because that's an Xbox exclusive. I have it. I played a bunch of it. I never finished it. It's a really beautiful side-scrolling game. Everyone kind of related. Like the emotion behind it is kind of similar to like a Pixar film. You know,
that's what it felt like.
Just like saying too.
Yeah.
So this is a sequel to that. I think it got announced last year, maybe the year before, but they just showed a little bit more of that, and we knew that we already know that that's going to be good. So like,
I'm not sure if this was the next game I wanted to bring up was a game from Software. Sekiro.
Yeah, right. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. So I think the Shadows Die Twice thing was at the Video Game Awards. I remember it was last year, where they had a trailer from Software and said Shadows Die Twice, and so everyone thought it was going to be maybe another Dark Souls game or Bloodborne 2.
It kind of looks like an Onimusha type.
I can't remember.
Vibe. That's what I thought it was until they revealed the name.
Some people were saying that From Software made another ninja game in the past, but I can't remember if it was like Tenchu or something like that.
Yeah.
But it is a ninja game. I don't remember. Maybe this was an old franchise, because I remember people talking about that it might be like a ninja game because they owned a franchise from the past. But I don't know. I mean, it looks cool. It looks like Onimusha.
Yeah.
It kind of does. I think Onimusha...
Speaking of which, when is that game coming back? I used to be obsessed with those games.
I had the first one, and I loved it, but I never played the other ones.
I played, like, up to 3, and then they introduced, like, that blonde character, and I was kind of like, I don't understand where they're going with this.
Bethesda talked about Fallout 4.
Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, Xbox Game Pass.
Which seems interesting. Kind of like a Spotify of video games.
Well, is there a streaming game service like PlayStation Now? But the difference is that on Xbox Game Pass, you can actually download the games too, and I think you get a discount if like to buy them. I think something like that too. So, because I guess, like, I don't know, I guess if it's like Netflix and, like, they might remove it from their library, you don't have to worry about that if you own it, maybe?
Yeah, I think they're going to have, was it Fallout 4, the new Forza game?
Yeah, they said all the new Microsoft...
Crackdown.
Owned games are going to be on there.
But we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talk about Fallout 76.
Yeah, so it's a prequel to all the Fallout games taking place in West Virginia. And I guess the objective of the game is to rebuild America. I haven't personally played any of the Fallout games because I'm too damn busy to play them.
I don't have the time for those open world
Unless
games.
it comes out on the Switch, which is why I'm so excited for the Nintendo conference. Well, I don't think 76 is going to come out on the Switch, but it would be cool if, I don't know.
Yeah,
Fallout
Nintendo
4.
and online doesn't really go together.
I know, but we'll see. We'll see. They're coming out with their online service soon. But this is the Microsoft conference, so let's...
Yeah, we gotta pick up the pace here. We're already like 13 minutes in.
Yeah.
Life is Strange universe game called Captain Spirit. I've only played the first episode of Life is Strange. I never got through the first season or the prequel season. My sister is a huge fan of the first season. So that's cool. I like Don't Nod. They're a cool, like, kind of indie studio. And it looks like a kid's fantasy. You play through his fantasies in this, like, universe.
I mean, it looked interesting to me just because it seemed like whatchamacallit, like one of those Telltale games, except it's more of a made up, I mean, whatever they made up on their own instead of just going into another universe. And I don't know. I enjoy those slice of life series.
They said download free June 26th. I guess that would mean like the first episode. Crackdown 3.
Crackdown 3. Terry Crews
is still alive. Like, that game is still being made. So that's cool. It says February 2019. Kind of annoyed that not an actual release date, but at least they got it down to a month.
Hey, February 2019. That's pretty solid.
But was it? I think that was supposed to be a launch Xbox game. Like,
well, they're getting there, you know.
Nier Automata is coming to Xbox June 26th. They showed a new trailer for Metro Exodus. I really like that series. It's like a Russian post-apocalyptic series based off of these popular Russian novels.
Looks like a lot of fun.
I played the first game. I never beat it, but I should. It's one of those games I'd like to go back to.
Kingdom Hearts 3. They revealed like the Frozen world, which is pretty cool, and I was stunned. I mean, a lot of my friends like watching Disney movies, so I was familiar with Frozen, and it looked almost like the movie. That, which is just crazy to me. I've never played the Kingdom Hearts series in full, and it's kind of hard to right now because there's like 10 bajillion games to catch up on. But it looks like a lot of fun, and I am happy for the fans.
Yeah, I mean, something that I've heard other podcasters talk about, and I agree because I remember this as well, is do you remember like when Toy Story, the first movie, came out? Everyone was talking about like, this is what video games will look like someday. And now video games look better than that first Toy Story, you know?
No, I remember.
Like, we're there now.
It's insane. Like, I remember when, like, the Final Fantasy VIII trailer came out, like, the CG, and I remember someone saying something like that, like, soon the games will look like the CG, and now they look way better than the CG version. Sea of Thieves.
Oh, wait, so Kingdom Hearts 3, January 29th.
January 29th. I'm sure everyone's going to pick that one up. Sea of Thieves. I don't know how I felt about this game. It was just like it ended with like a sort of a corny joke. Yeah. Like there was this pirate that gave this I don't know,
crystal globe.
He was selling like this globe to this, I don't know, this lady, and
no, you're describing well. It's like this, I don't know, thing happened.
It was just like this lady and
pirates,
and then they went into the globe. It's like, oh, death and destruction, blah blah blah, and then like they zoomed out of the globe, and he was like, okay, how much does it cost? She's like, all right, $10. And that was the end of the trailer, and I was like, okay, I don't understand this at all. Forza Horizon 4. This is the game I was most hype about.
Well, there was also a very short trailer of Battlefield 5.
Oh yeah, Battlefield 5.
What was up with that? Why was it so short? I don't know.
Well, they kind of covered it yesterday, so
I guess
they didn't really need to say no more.
Yeah, Forza
Horizon Farm Simulator game. We only say that because the beginning of the trailer was kind of
showed farms.
I don't know. It was a lot of farm action going on.
Farm.
But it's set in historic Britain, so that's why it looks so farm-like.
Action.
It's like, damn,
that looks super impressive, right? I mean, like, we were just surprised. Like, so you had like 4 different, like all these different or maybe it was like 3 or 4 different game types going on at the same time in the same universe, and they could like go in and out of it seamlessly of like different kinds of races, and I was impressed that at least in this demo that they showed, like the frame rate seemed consistent and everything seemed super smooth, like for an online game. Although maybe it wasn't really online in this demo.
Yeah, and it had like all different types of cars or just vehicles. They had like motorcycles and like, you know, those dirt jeeps or you know, mud trucks.
Dirt jeeps.
But yeah, it was just cool to see that all these vehicles are pretty much in the game at once. You know, you have a bunch of people doing several different missions. I'm not really sure about like, you know, if there's like it's mission based or people are just like driving, racing, just doing whatever. But it looked gorgeous. It goes through like all 4 seasons. I'm not sure if that's gonna be like real time with the actual seasons or if it's just it's gonna be across like a shorter time span. But yeah, it was gorgeous, and it's going to be released on October 2nd, 2018. So not too
You're
far
not
away.
Too far away.
Yeah.
All right, let's pick up the energy.
So they briefly went over the quest for creative teams and like
right, which
we kind of discussed it already.
But the biggest one for us was like that
Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory, yeah.
Compulsion Games they also brought out.
They acquired that, which is We Happy Few, which is supposed to have its final release August 10th. I feel like that game's been in beta for like 2 years or something.
It seemed really dark. It kind of reminded me of BioShock a little bit, you know. I guess it's just the feeling of BioShock, not quite story-wise.
Well, it was some of the original developers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know
that's news to me.
Yeah, those were some of the guys that, you know, when Irrational Games closed down, or made it themselves smaller, all these other guys that worked on the BioShock games, they formed their own studios, and one of them was Compulsion.
Yeah.
I don't understand we don't understand what was happening with that PUBG trailer, because it said buy today, then it said summer 2018, then it said winter 2018.
Actually, it said buy today, summer 2018, winter 2018. I was kind of expecting like 2048, you know. It was like, whatever.
So there's some kind of DLC that's coming out sometime. I didn't really understand.
Tales of Vesperia.
Right.
Vesperia. Bleh.
Do you know? I don't really know
edition.
JRPGs. But apparently it said coming to the West for the first time.
Yeah, it looked real pretty.
Did you know about it?
No, I have some friends that are big fans of the Tales of series. So
right.
They have like a Tales of fill in the blank.
Right. Okay. So, I have heard of it. It sounded familiar, but I didn't really know about it.
Again, have no time to play it because development jobs are hard. So the Division 2, you played the Division before?
No, I never played it. I mean, obviously I know about it, and especially the first one took place in New York City.
Well, it looked exciting from the trailer. I mean, they had
Washington D.C.
I mean, they had like a CGI trailer and also a gameplay trailer. So, I
feel like it looks like if you like the Division, you'll like the Division 2.
Yeah,
probably.
Was it like an outbreak going on? There's a virus and
and it said March 15th.
Yeah. Ashley Spiker was talking about the Game Pass, but we kind of like went over that already. So, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, that's coming out pretty soon.
September 14th.
I don't know. There's a lot of information about it.
Yeah, of that already.
There's a new exclusive skateboarding game that I initially thought was going to be like a new Tony Hawk.
Yeah, it's called
game.
Session.
There's a lot of Tony Hawk memes on the internet right now, so I thought it was kind of funny to see it again.
Pearl Abyss.
The Black Desert.
Black Desert.
Pearl Abyss is the
company.
developer.
Seems like another like dark fantasy kind of game. MMORPG.
Yeah, set in medieval times. It kind of looked like I don't know, like Elder Scrolls Devil May Cry combined. It looked pretty cool. Oh, speaking of Devil May Cry.
Transition.
They announced Devil May Cry 5.
Who was the young guy? Was that Nero from DMC4 with short hair?
It's
because it was blue.
I don't think that was Dante.
It wasn't. It definitely wasn't Dante, and he was blue. And I think Nero's thing was didn't he have a missing arm or something? I can't remember. It's been so long since I played that game.
Yeah, it's been like
long
since the last DMC?
Since DMC4?
Yeah.
I mean, because they had
that's
DMC.
Like 10 years, right?
Yeah, they said 10 years since DMC4, but then they had the Ninja Theory game, DMC, Devil May Cry. But that was supposed to be a reboot. And now they're kind of just going back to the main timeline because a lot of people didn't like that Dante had black hair.
This is bullshit.
But they did have like a shot of Dante at the end of the trailer. But I think that the main younger guy might have been Nero because I remember Nero as being like blue. And I can't remember if he had a missing arm. But if people are watching, like, let us know, because... But it looked cool. It looked like Devil May Cry. Looked ridiculous.
Very Devil May Cry. So, moving on, we have Cuphead.
Cuphead DLC. Coming 2019.
I was excited about Tunic, the game with the...
Yeah, it looks kind of like a Zelda-like.
Yeah.
With a fox.
A polygonal fox.
And that's an exclusive.
Yeah. Has that isometric world, kind of like hack and slashy. And apparently a single developer created this. Like, it sort of reminds me of Stardew Valley in a way. Like, I would just want to play it just to see into the head of, like, one...
I wonder what engine that was, if it was Unity or something.
No, I'm not sure, but the game looks incredible. I don't know how one developer ends up doing the entire thing, learning all the art assets by himself.
Yeah, talk about this Jump Force.
By
Bandai Namco.
I used to watch a lot of, like, Dragon Ball Z as a kid. And, I know of Naruto, know of One Piece, but I believe Jump Force is the manga that brings all these series together in one. I'm not like 100% certain on that, but I believe they're bringing that manga into a video game. But it looks really cool.
What do you think of is it a fighting game? It must have been a fighting game.
It almost looked like
Smash
open
Brothers.
world-ish. It didn't look like a fighting game to me. It was
because I know that there are a lot of like anime fighting games, like, especially for Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah, maybe it's like Dragon Ball Xenoverse. I'm not sure. To me, it looked like an open world game where all these characters exist. Whether it's a fighting game, I'm not sure, but to me, it kind of looked like something where you could kind of do whatever you want. It wasn't just like a specific, like, Goku versus Frieza.
All right, moving on. Dying Light 2. Seems like a lot of consequences affect the world, but still like parkour zombie action. So they showed a little bit of a demo of that. Exclusive Battletoads game coming out 2019.
No gameplay of that though.
Yeah, but that sounds cool.
Yeah, Just Cause 4.
Yep, December 4th. And then there's like 5 billion Gears of War games.
Oh my god, they announced 3 Gears games. We have Gears Pop, Gears Tactics, and Gears 5.
So yeah, Gears Pop is like, it seems like almost like those Lego games, like, like it's kind of like a parody of the franchise, but it's Funko Pops. So that sounds kind of interesting. So that's coming 2019. Then Gears Tactics is like a PC strategy game.
Milk that cow.
And then Gears 5, you play as a lady. And we don't really know much about the Gears lore or anything at all.
Gears with woman.
So it just looked like a bunch of gorilla people arguing with each other.
Yeah.
To us. But
we have to go with her. We have no choice.
And that's 2019. What was weird to me is that at the beginning of every trailer that was an exclusive, it would say exclusive. But this didn't say that.
Yeah, it didn't say exclusive.
Which I think is weird because Gears of War must be exclusive.
It must be.
But maybe they mean because it's on PC, it's not a console exclusive or something. I thought that was weird.
I think even if it is also on PC, they should.
And then they were talking about, or they gave us they pretended to close things out, talking about they're creating Microsoft AI to enhance artificial intelligence. They're working on enhancing console quality game streaming on all devices. They did mention that they're working on the next Xbox consoles. So does that mean that there's going to be different tiers, kind of how we have the Xbox One S and the X now, that they're just going to create more tiers like that? And then they remind us again that they acquired 5 new Microsoft studios. And they actually close things out with the trailer for CD Projekt Red Cyberpunk 2077, which I'm really excited about as well.
Can you say a little more about it?
Well, that CD Projekt Red are the guys that make the Witcher games. I think it was announced like 4 years ago or something. with like a teaser trailer. We've heard very little information about the game since then, except that it's going to be like
the biggest open world.
Yeah, they were saying it's like probably going to be like the biggest open world game ever. Like I don't remember the exact number. I think it was like 3 times bigger than The Witcher 3. And I've always said like I'm not really into open world games, but I've said this before that like the only kind of open world game that I would get into is if like Blade Runner was like an open world game. I would fucking love that. Or no, excuse my language, whatever. But I would love that because like I feel like for me to get into an open world game, it would have to be a world that I would want to explore, know more about. And I'm not really into like fantasy and so I never played like the Witcher games. I never really got into like the Elder Scroll games. And I got more into like Assassin's Creed and Red Dead Redemption and even like Batman games, but this looks like something. The
setting has to be interesting.
This looks like something I would actually want to explore.
I agree. If you're investing a huge amount of time into a certain world, it better be appealing to you.
So I'm a little annoyed because I didn't see a release date though or anything, but at least there's a trailer, a CG trailer.
Soon. But yeah, that's about it for the Microsoft conference. So we will be posting a new video up soon for the other ones.
Before we close out, I just want to say that we had our EA press conference video yesterday, and I want to apologize to anyone that might have watched it. That there seems to be a lot of parts that were just completely cut out. I just want to let you know we didn't do that. We were trying to use YouTube Live for the first time, and we had tested it out for a few minutes before, and everything seemed fine. But
if you're a video creator, just don't use it.
Yeah, so we're not going to do that. We're going to try to, it takes longer when you have to record on your computer and then export it and then upload it, but at least we know that the whole video will exist. So I apologize for that if you watched it and you didn't understand why things were just cut out in weird ways.
But we're doing it better this time, and we learned our lessons. So, yeah. Until next time, guys.
So, NYC, geek out. Like, share, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell. And
ding.
We'll see you soon.